Hey guys, Mauro here. 1975, 1976. No, 74, 75. Sylvester Stallone was trying to sell, well, he was trying to find a company that will make his movie, Rocky. He wanted to play the main role. They didn't want to. They offered him a lot of money for the script, for the story. He had $106 in his bank account. He was offered $300,000, and he didn't sell the story. Why? Because he truly believed that he was the right person to play the role, and he wanted to do it, and it was his story. So he just stuck to what he wanted to do. And in the end, imagine risking pretty much being bankrupt with $106 in the bank, and you turn down $300,000. That's the kind of mindset that those people, world-class performers, have. And eventually, he had to sell everything he had to survive. He said that the most valuable thing that he had back then was his dog. He even had to sell his dog to survive, which when the movie did well, he went back and bought the dog back from the person he sold it to. But he had to, I believe he had to spend tens of thousands of dollars for it. So he paid a lot more to get it back, but I'm sure he didn't mind. I would have done the same for sure. So what I want to talk about is that it's related to this story. The fact that I'm sure he was afraid that his story wouldn't happen, because he was turned down. He was told, they were even mocking him, telling him, have you ever heard the way you talk and how your mouth looks, in your face when you talk, and the tone of your voice? Look at yourself. They truly made him feel like, dude, there is no way you will be an actor. You don't have the voice, you don't have the face, nothing. So, but still, he believed it, and he did well. He ended up winning. So that's what I want to talk about. What happens, the fear when the things are not going to be well, the fear of failure. Okay, and one important thing that I want to pay attention to, that this is something that I wrote. It consists of 6 tips where I'm going to talk to you about things that you have to do, important points like being very clear on your goal and how you're going to deal with that stuff, your mental blocks and things like that. I'm going to try to make this really short, but it's kind of long, 6 tips, what I wrote, and I'm just going to try to summarize. So bear with me if it goes a little long, okay? Sorry about that. So, all right. One of the important things when we're playing, when we're competing, is the ego. The ego takes over, and the problem with the ego is all that little voice that we hear that is talking to us a lot of times, and it doesn't help. Monkey brain, they call him, and some, monkey talking to you and stuff. This is pretty much the ego. What happens? The ego is about receiving. I want to win. It's for me. I want it. I want it. Me. Not really giving. It's always coming this way. So the ego is something that is more about receiving. It wants to feel superior to everybody else. That's why it's focused on winning. You gotta be better than this guy. You gotta be better than that guy. When I go to the you go to the tournament and you shake hands with the guys there. You want to feel that you're superior. You want to feel like you're one of the best players. You don't want to feel like you just won one more of the guys playing there. And that's an ego thing. You look in all that stuff. It's all about validation and approval. That's pretty much what it wants. Validation and approval, and that comes in the form of winning or being superior, feeling superior. And that's a very important thing that you want to pay attention to. You gotta learn to recognize that little voice and put it on the side. So what do? Okay, you gotta be willing to see your weaknesses. You gotta be willing to change, to stop being the victim, to stop thinking like the underdog, to start having the underdog mentality and procrastinating. Those are things that you really want to pay attention to start changing that. Those are things that you really want to start working on. Now, usually when we have done the work on something, when whatever you're pursuing, when we have done the work, let's say that you put the hours, all the hard work, everything, you went to the court, you know, and you practice and spend weeks and months working on that thing, and the tournament comes, and it turned out that that backhand that you were working so hard and you be hitting beautiful during practice, you know, it just collapsed in the mat. You just hit horrible. Usually when that happens, let's assume you put the work on something. When that happens and things don't turn out well, most of the times it's because there is a mental block. There is something in the mental approach that is not working. It's not really something technical. It's not really something physiological. It's usually, it might even feel like something physiological, because if you're nervous, if you're choking, if you're or you just don't feel very sure, your body's gonna respond to that. But it's usually, if you put the effort, if you have done everything you needed to do and things don't turn out your way, then you gotta pay attention, because it's usually a mental problem there. So let's go to the tips. And number one, you gotta recognize what is it that you're doing that is remarkably stupid, that's keeping you from growing. In a few words, how are you blocking yourself? You gotta pay attention. Usually when we all are doing many times something remarkably stupid that is stopping us from doing what we want. Sit down and find out what it is. I will be surprised if you don't know. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. We usually know what it is. Sometimes we're procrastinating, sometimes we just don't believe, or whatever, but you've got to find out that. Tip number 2. You got to be crystal clear in what you want. You got to have a perfect idea, not a vague, oh, well, I just want to get better in my ranking or something, or I just, you know, you really have, when you're driving on the highway at night, you have the headlights on, and you want to see the road well. You want to know very well where you're going, because also it's not only you don't want to just see the road. You want to see if you have any deer crossing the highway or something, whatever is on the highway that, you know, might create an accident. So you want to have a very, you know, see very well where you're going. And it's the same way with the goals, guys. If you just kind of see one of the lights is working and the other one is working at 50%, so you don't have a very good idea where you're really going or what you're going to hit. So you really want to have a clear, well-established idea of what you want. Okay. Tip number 2. Come to terms with the one thing that you're going to need the most. The one thing that you're going to need the most is courage. Recognize that the story that you and others have been telling to yourself is not necessarily true, and you can change it. To me, the most important thing psychologically, the most important thing that you need to anything in any goal is courage. You're gonna need patience, you're gonna need determination, sometimes you need creativity and some other things. But the truth is that I believe that courage is the most important of them all. And you gotta come to terms with the fact that, you know what, things are gonna go wrong, and it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna get ugly many times. But you know what? If you have the courage, it's not gonna stop you. They're gonna punch you down. You know, they're gonna knock you down. You're gonna get up. Okay, let's go again. Try it. They're gonna knock you down again. You're gonna get up. Okay, let's go and try again. And they're gonna knock you down. You know, and you just keep coming back. When you create that mindset, any adversary will be like, wow. I mean, talking about adversaries on the court, talking about adversaries in life being the adversary, making things different. Things will go your way. Things will go your way if you have the courage to keep coming back. And you keep whichever way, oh, I gotta go that way, oh, I don't know that path, it doesn't matter, I'll go. So you have to really pay attention to that, and you have to believe in the fact that you can change the story that other people and yourself have been telling to yourself. You can change it. Others, you're not gonna find a lot of fans that are gonna come and say, Michael, you are a great star. I truly believe that by the time you are 21, you're gonna be one of the best players in the United States, or a world ranked player. You know, or say, you know what, I believe that in 2 months from now, the way I see you practicing, you're gonna be one of the best players in the club. I mean, you're not gonna have a lot of fans telling you that. So you got to be one of your most loyal fans, and you gotta create that idea in your head that things can change. Whatever you've been telling yourself before, and everybody else has done it, or not everybody, but some others, you can change it. All right, number 4. The more you let go of your disbelief, the more you start acquiring that new mindset, and little manifestations start to happen. The disbelief that you have that things cannot happen, when you start changing that, when you start moving that out of your mind, in something else starts taking over. You don't get rid of disbelief, and there is a gap that stays there. If you don't believe, disbelief is gonna take over. If it's not something good that you have in your head, something bad is gonna take over. Okay, number 5. One of the most important aspects is patience, because it will take a while, and it's going to be hard. Only those that keep the certainty of the outcome throughout the waiting time get the desired results. You gotta have a lot of patience, because it's gonna be 2 things for sure. There are 2 things, it's guaranteed. That's a default of life. It's gonna be hard. If it's a really worth goal, it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna take a long time. So you gotta have a lot of patience, and you gotta create, and you gotta believe that you can do it, because only the people that go on the period that the process of reaching the goal, it's only the people that believe that they can do it that are the ones that in the end get to the goal. So you gotta have that patience, and you gotta keep that patience throughout the whole process. Okay? And the last one, guys, number 6, you must have certainty in order to make it happen. Certainty creates big amounts of action. Big amounts of action creates potential, and potential develops into creation of goals. If God came from heaven and shakes your hand and says, John, don't worry about your goal. Whatever you want, you're gonna make it. You just gotta keep on going. You wouldn't mind if you take 5 years or more to get into your goal, because you know, oh, I know I'm gonna get there. Jesus told me, or God told me. So you will just do it. You wouldn't mind, like, oh my God, I don't know. No, you have the certainty. So you will take action. Okay? So that's the idea that you gotta have, to say, you know what? Create that certainty, because that certainty is gonna help you take action. When you believe that you can do it, it's easier to take action. When you take action, you're developing into a better player, a better person. So you're developing potential. And when you're developing potential, you have a much bigger idea of fulfilling that goal, of reaching that goal. So you have to start thinking that you can do it. Why? Because that's the key. If there is no belief that you can do it, you're not gonna take action. If you don't take action, there is no potential and there is no goals. You're not gonna reach the goal. So you gotta start changing that whatever you have in your mind, that disbelief, you gotta start changing that. How do you do that? Well, you gotta start working. You gotta start working on your self-communication. You gotta start working on your self-awareness. That's super important. You gotta pay attention to the things that you're doing. You gotta change the way you talk to yourself. You gotta change the way you move. You gotta change, the way your presence. You gotta have the composure. You gotta stay calm. You gotta be centered. You gotta believe in yourself, in the way you move, and the way you talk, and the way your perceptions and your reactions. You gotta change all that kind of stuff. And that's what's gonna create that certainty. When you believe in yourself, when you have that belief that say, I know I can do it, you take action. Why? Obviously, because you wanna do it and you believe in yourself. Just the fact that you take action means that you are building a different person. You're a different person in that moment. You're shaping a different self. And when you're shaping that different, more powerful self, you're one step or more than one step closer to your goal. Okay? All right, guys. That's it for today. I really suggest that you check my Instagram. You're gonna find my Instagram address here. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and well, just remember, go out there Stay centered, be bold, be perseverant. Thank you very much. I hope it helps, and I'll see you next time.